Hello everyone, this is Doe welcoming you back to another sort of Convallaria video. Today we're going to discuss my top picks based on the role-based tier list from the other day. These selections are heavily influenced by PvE content, particularly the upcoming Tower of Adversity, Voyage of Discovery, and to some extent, Universal Derivation. Before we dive into the priority suggestions for different spending levels, let's take a look at how some of these units perform against the latest Tower of Adversity boss, who had over 2 million HP.
我来帮你，谢谢。随我前进。结束了。一起前进。有破绽。相信你都要对付那个家伙吗？该结束了。
Now that we've seen what Estra and SP Inanna can do with the support of Lutfi, Etta, SP Safiyyah, and base Inanna, let's break down the roster composition that could help you secure a top 100 spot in Tower of Adversity. I've categorized units into 3 groups. The Essential 8 consists of core units that I believe are necessary if you're aiming to be highly competitive in this endgame mode. The Secondary 8 includes units that significantly improve your experience by increasing damage dealt per round or handling large waves of enemies more effectively. Lastly, supplementary units are those that can be useful in a pinch and shine in niche situations. Keep in mind that the Essential 8 are not ranked by importance, as their roles and positioning will vary depending on different situations. This recommendation is also suited for those who clear out the store on a monthly basis. I've decided to start with a high spender budget so we can first examine what these units offer at max capacity. This will allow us to better strategize on how to make the most of the available resources at lower spending levels. First up is Kvare. He is currently the game's best piercing and DOT DPS, thanks to his blacklist mechanic, which automatically marks the nearest enemy within 5 tiles. When he removes this mark, his attack and defense increase until the end of battle, making him stronger as the fight progresses. Each time he uses his blacklist skill, he inflicts life loss damage equal to 60% of his current magic attack for 3 turns. In addition to his strong offensive capabilities, he also has access to both offensive and defensive support skills. His Shadow Puppet Staff further enhances his role by applying a unique debuff that increases piercing damage taken, making enemies even more vulnerable. Next, we have SP Inanna, whose free will mechanics are incredibly powerful. She can amplify her teammates' attack and defense through her aura, Flag of Convallaria skill, co-attack, and co-defense, while also dealing significant AoE or single-target magical damage. At 5 stars, she can grant both an ally and herself what is essentially Pursuit Order, while also providing each with 2 extra energy. Her damage output is further enhanced by Dawnlight and the Blood Luxite Amulet, making her an unstoppable force on the battlefield. SP Safiyyah is one of the most important units if you want your party to maximize its damage output in a given turn. Her amplifying capabilities are unmatched, as she can order teammates to perform assisting attacks while boosting their overall damage through her trait and Astral Imprint sword. Her ability to enable constant follow-up attacks and enhance team synergy makes her a must-pull in my opinion. Lutfi, much like Inanna and Safiyyah, excels at amplifying damage dealt to enemies, but does so in reverse by inflicting powerful debuffs instead of buffs. One of his strongest mechanics is applying Vulnerable 3 simply by ending his turn. A quick look at his kit immediately reveals that he is designed to be the king of debuffs. The more debuffs an enemy has, the stronger he becomes, making him an invaluable asset for any team looking to weaken opponents and maximize damage output. So now you can see that these four have very different roles in battle, each contributing to amplifying overall damage output in a given round. Since it's difficult for most players to have all these characters at their maximum potential, we'll discuss how to maximize your budget as efficiently as possible a bit later. For now, let's take a look at the remaining 4 units in this category. Estra is the best single-target physical DPS to date, capable of dealing up to 700,000 damage in a single round with the right support. To my knowledge, no other single-target DPS can currently achieve these numbers. Her mechanics involving energy depletion and magic shield further amplify her damage output, making Cage Mass from Season 3 Astral Imprint her best trinket. She is a must-pull for anyone focused on speed-clearing tough bosses. Tristan, our Berserker Mama, and the most recent DPS added to the global server, is a powerful unit who can be built as either a strong single-target physical DPS or a great AoE magical DPS. Her ability to switch between these builds makes her a versatile choice for different team compositions and challenges. Her AoE potential is further enhanced by her Blood Luxite amulet, which also happens to be the best trinket for Inanna. For mid-spenders and above, investing in her amulet will provide long-term value across multiple units. Taair, everyone's favorite historian, excels at providing instant damage buffs and debuffs through his historical skills. Where he truly shines, though, is in speed tuning and his exclusive ability to distribute incoming damage while simultaneously increasing the team's damage output with Cage Reverie. One thing to note is that his instant buffs and debuffs won't be as essential later on, with Lutfi, Inanna, and Safiyyah taking over in those areas. For this reason, I don't think it's necessary to push him to 5 stars, especially for those who haven't had the best luck pulling him. We'll touch more on that later. Finally, I've included Agata in the Essential 8 primarily for her exclusive access to Wound. This mechanic amplifies piercing damage not only for herself, but also for teammates who rely on piercing damage mechanics. In addition to her offensive potential, she provides some healing through her single-target ultimate attack, which improves the party's overall survivability. If you're planning to build a strong piercing damage team, she is a valuable unit to have in your arsenal. These 4 units will help you stay competitive in Tower of Adversity for some time. Estra stands as the best single-target physical DPS, capable of dealing massive damage in a single round. Taair provides invaluable support by spreading incoming damage while simultaneously increasing the team's overall output. Agata's exclusive access to Wound enhances piercing damage taken by enemies, making her a crucial asset for piercing-focused teams. Tristan's versatility, allowing her to function as either a single-target physical DPS or magical AoE DPS, gives you flexibility in adapting to different battle scenarios. Together, these units provide an edge in numerous strategies, making them key components in a well-rounded team. Moving on to the secondary 8 units, these units are meant to further enhance your experience with high-end content. I selected them based on their utility rather than sheer power, as they provide valuable tools to improve team performance in different scenarios. First, we have Homa, who needs no introduction. Her ability to support a single target DPS unit and her synergy with them is unmatched. Thanks to her access to ranged physical defense down 3 and her bird's follow-up attacks, making her an ideal support for a physical team. In addition to her debuffing capabilities, she also provides decent healing while functioning as a solid sub-DPS herself. SP Rawiyah stands out as the best physical AoE DPS in the game, with the ability to act again every turn at 5 stars, making her a relentless force when dealing with large groups of enemies. Before we go into Ayisha, let's take a moment to see what she brings to the table.
この信頼、決して裏切りません。そもそもの初めにおいては、何故に行動しようとしたのですか？認めてもらいたいからですか？イリアの王女に生まれたからですか？歩み続けましょう、殿下。答えに導いてくれるのはあなたの心なのですよ。
Ayisha is the game's best tank and magic DPS, capable of converting her physical attack into magical attacks. When built properly, she is hands down the tankiest unit available and synergizes exceptionally well with SP Inanna. A 5-star Shield of Justice from Season 1, Astral Imprints works incredibly well for her, as it not only increases her attack and defense by 12%, but also grants her a 20% damage boost from her Defender roll bonus, while providing shield regeneration every other turn, scaling off her current physical defense. Her Astral Sword Dawn Moon further enhances her tank build, granting 30% defense at 5 stars and increasing both her and the ally she is protecting by an additional 40% with the Dawn Moon buff. She also adds 40% of both her physical and magic defense to her attack, making her a powerful damage dealer despite her primary role as a tank. On top of that, she heals when attacked, meaning she will often remain at full HP even after taking damage. Now let's take a look at what Luvita brings to the table.
次は誰をカエルにすればいいのかしら。自己紹介が必要？そうね。私こそは悪逆の限りを尽くす異端の筆頭、邪悪なる魔性。火を盗むものですって？その2つのは初耳ね。とはいえ、時には便利なこともあるのよ、この悪名。あなたもこの悪名高い魔女に近づきすぎないよう気をつけた方がいいわ。
Luvita is primarily an AoE fire magic damage dealer with the ability to trigger chain reaction attacks. She can grant the entire party immunity to burning tiles, allowing you to ignore burning tile effects in certain situations. She also has a unique global teleportation skill that lets her move anywhere on the map where a burning tile is present. If you enjoy playing with fire, Luvita is the perfect unit to bring the heat. Moving on to the last 4 units in the secondary 8, we have Coco, our best AoE healer with critical buffs and happiness mechanics. While she is no longer essential for tough content, she can still be useful in certain situations. For new players, I don't recommend prioritizing her shard farming unless you really love her, and off-banner summons should just be considered a bonus. Eda, on the other hand, is making a strong comeback. Initially nerfed heavily, she is now becoming an excellent support DPS for magic teams, especially alongside Inanna and Ayisha due to their affiliation with the Iria faction. August and base form Safiyyah are both solid DPS options, but they are significantly outshined by the DPS units from the Essential 8. Before moving on to the supplementary units, I want to go over what I recommend mid-spenders should prioritize. Keep in mind that these priority suggestions are not absolute and will vary depending on your summoning luck, so feel free to adjust according to your needs. I define mid-spenders as players who buy all Fate packs, dual passes monthly, and occasionally purchase all discounted Fate packs whenever they are available. For the essential 8 units, I prioritize traditional DPS over piercing and DOT DPS because I believe they will have a longer shelf life. I could be wrong, so take this suggestion with a grain of salt. I also recommend strategically pulling on the Astral Imprint banner for this spending level, which I will cover in a separate video. Units such as SP Inanna, Safiyyah, Lutfi, and Estra receive significant boosts in their utility and damage output per round at higher star levels. Others do not see as drastic an improvement in my opinion. I suggest prioritizing universal shards for these key units whenever we get them. For the secondary 8 units, Homa performs very well as a sub-DPS at 4 stars. SP Rawiya requires her 5-star upgrade to be able to act again every turn. Ayisha's 5-star upgrade is extremely valuable for her overall tanking and damage output, and Shield of Justice from Season 1 complements her build perfectly. Dawn Moon is optional, but since Taiwanese servers received 1 free copy, it may be worth considering if luck is on your side. Luvita benefits greatly from her 5-star upgrade, ensuring she can maximize her mechanics. Coco's guaranteed happiness at 5 stars makes her worth considering, but for newer players, off-banner summons should be treated as a bonus. Etta starts performing well as a sub-DPS and support at 3 stars. I personally left her at 3 stars on my main account and will just treat any off-banner copies as a bonus. August and Safiyyah perform better at 4 stars, but they may not be necessary if you already own the DPS units I mentioned before. That brings me to the supplementary units. If you already have all the DPS units I've discussed, Momo might be a better unit for your overall roster than August, as she can increase DOT damage for a DOT-based team. Gloria remains a solid support DPS. Base Inanna still offers Act Again and can be played alongside her SP version for double Act Again mechanics. Her guard skill also inflicts speed down, adding to your overall strategy. Flavia helps the team survive brutal attacks through her flower summoning mechanics. Afra can bring more strategic options to a piercing team with her damage record mechanics. Pamina remains one of the most powerful taunt tanks in the game, adding more depth to your roster. So that's it for today. I hope this has been helpful to you, and as usual, this is a sponsored video, so if you haven't already, download the game using the link in the description to support the channel. I'll also be making priority suggestions for low spenders and sharing my thoughts on Astral Imprints very soon, so be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to stay updated. Stay cool, stay crispy. This is Doe signing off. See you in the next video.